Hey there my lovelies, and welcome to my booktube channel, The Sassy Library Fox. My name is V, and today we're going to talk about the books I read in December. I'm going for my wrap-up video, but before I do that, you gotta be aware that you are in the natural habitat of a ticketless army. Yes, it was already very clear that I wouldn't get a ticket from Munich. But judging from all the stories I heard from other friends, I mean, some of them even had 8 computers in front of them and didn't get a single ticket for a European show. So yeah, the fight for the tickets was very hard, apparently. Not that I got a chance to get one, but I heard from people that it was really tough, and apparently news outlets claim that the tickets for Europe were gone in or under 60 minutes even. So yeah, there's that. I decided I would just wear my hoodie and put BTS on display in the background. So that's probably the closest I will get to them. It seems like I will have to bury this dream deep in the ground. Anyway, I'm happy for every army that actually got a ticket for the shows. Munich was already too far away for us, especially because we would have had to travel there, we would have had to book a hotel and everything else. So for 2 people, and especially with my kid, this would have been a lot of money and a lot of planning. Yeah, so I'm okay with the fact that I didn't get a ticket. I will just have to be a fan from afar. I mean, nothing changed there. I've been a fan and army since 2018, yeah. So there's that, and I just thought I would let you know and talk a little bit about this here, because quite honestly, this wouldn't be my channel if I wouldn't drink coffee and wouldn't talk about BTS on here. So yeah, that's what you get when you come to my channel. And yeah, I'm still a fan. I will still support them in whichever way I can. Unfortunately, I just won't be seeing them live. Yeah, that's life. There's that. Not everyone can afford to travel to another country and get tickets there and stay there for a night. So for all the armies, and some of you are armies, I know that didn't get a ticket and can't see them live, that's okay. I know you're sad, probably, most definitely, but it's okay. Not everyone can afford this kind of thing. Not everyone can travel in a different country and stay there, and it's okay. You're still valid, you're still a fan, and there's nothing wrong about just admiring them from afar and being a fan that never went to a concert. It's okay, and you are still a valid army. Just wanted to put that out there for everyone who might be sad and thinks that they aren't real fans if they don't go to the concert. There are various reasons why you can't go there, so it's okay. We're all in the same boat here. Okay, enough of that, enough of my ticketless concert status. Let's just talk about the books I read in January. I can't believe I'm already talking about my January wrap-up, but here we are. I managed to read 4 books in January. They all had ratings from 3.5 to 4 paws. They were all good in their own way, but none of them actually made it into the special category of 5 paws. But still a good reading month. I read a lot of pages. Yeah, a lot of pages. I think one of those books was really huge and pushed up the pages count quite a lot. And I'm gonna take a sip here before I talk about the first book I finished. So the first book I finished in January was Ruthless, Vows by Rebecca Rose. And Ruthless, Vows is already the second book in the series. It's also the last book. It was a duology, and it once again was about Iris, Winnow, and Roman, Kit. And those two, yeah. The first book ended on a cliffhanger, and quite honestly, if you didn't read the first book yet, please don't continue to watch my wrap up here, at least about this book, because you might get spoilers, because this is already the second book in the series. And of course, if you didn't read the first one, you might stumble upon a couple of spoilers. I'm just saying it, so now would be the safe moment to leave this part of the video. And now I'll just go ahead and talk about the book. I rated it 4 paws. After the cliffhanger of the first book, I was very skeptical if I would like that one, because quite honestly, I'm not the kind of type who likes to read about memory loss, unless it's funny. But in that case, it was really serious, and quite honestly, I just didn't want to read about Roman not knowing anything about Iris anymore after everything that happened in the first book. This would have hurt so much. But thankfully, the author managed to write this memory loss trope in a way I could take it. I mean, Roman doesn't remember Iris and all the things that happened, but he remembers certain moments and feelings. So there's that. And they also start to write once again through their typewriters, which helps him to remember her. And I really loved that they got to know each other once again through their typewriters. As for the world building, it was way more pronounced than in the first book. I got the feeling we got a really good glimpse at the world building now and what it means that the gods were at war, how they got there, how there is just Enva and Tahereh left. That was really okay. And yeah, we didn't get all of the world building, but we got more to have a better imagination and a better grasp on everything. So we weren't as in the dark as in the first book. There were still some mysteries that were revealed, and I found it interesting that in this second installment we got a lot of couples that developed throughout the book. That was interesting, because none of them was left alone in the end. And I personally shipped Etty and Tobias a lot. They were great together. They had great chemistry and banter. Yeah, what else? I personally think the things in this book were handled well. It was a nice and well-rounded finish for the series. I don't know, I just would have wanted a little bit more of Enva and Tahereh. Those two stayed quite mysterious until the very end, and I really would have liked to get more of those two. But aside of that, it was a really enjoyable book. The writing style was once again easy to read, and overall it was a 4 paws read for me. So actually pretty good and very entertaining, you might say. Okay, another sip. The second book I read in January was The Survivor Wants to Die at the End by Silvera. And this book also got 4 paws from me. It was a huge book. I think it had 707 pages, which is a lot. Honestly, I'm so impressed I managed to read this book, because usually when a book has more than, let's say, 500 to 600 pages, it becomes a feat for me to actually finish it, because there is a lot of time that has to go into reading that book, and I didn't dare to pick up such a huge book for a long time. maybe I will get back into longer books now, because I managed to read that one very fast. It was great, it was good. As for what the story was about, it's basically about Elano Rosa and Paz Dario. And those two were already mentioned in the other Deathcast books. They had cameos and little mentions before. Alano is the sole heir to Deathcast. His father, Joaquin, and his mother want him to inherit the company. And there's a lot of pressure on him. A lot of people want to see him dead, let's put it that way, because he's the heir to that empire, and not a lot of people, or rather the majority of people, likes Deathcast and the service it provides. But there are always people that are radical and critical and don't want Deathcast in their lives. So yeah, he's in constant danger. And Paz, well, if you read the book, you know what happened with Paz and his past. He's still struggling after the first day of Deathcast when his father died. And yeah, Paz really has such a hard life, a really hard life. And yeah, there is a lot of talk about mental health. There is the topic of suicide. There is the topic of self-harm and of disorders that can get in the way of living your life the way you want it to. And I really liked the focus on mental health in that one. It was not easy to digest, it was hard to read, but I think it's so important that there is representation like that in books. And yes, it's not an easy read, it's not a walk in the park. It has quite the serious topics, and it takes them with it. The entire book, through the entire story, you have that serious topic again and again and again, and it's not going away. But I think that's exactly how people that suffer from mental health problems like that feel it. It's a constant in their background, and it doesn't go away that easily. What I really liked was that both boys are in therapy, so they are working on their, I won't say problems, they are working on their mental health, because that's important to make this distinction, that they are working on getting better, on getting a grasp on their mental health, on finding a way to live their life as best as they can. So yeah, I really appreciated this approach from Adam Silvera, and even though the book wasn't easy to read, it was an important read, it was a good read. The ending had me reeling quite a lot. I also appreciated all the cameos of the books before, because I read every single one of them, and it's so nice to read about your favorite characters and what they've been up to or how things continued. So yeah, I'm curious about the second book. I wonder if things will change once again. And despite Alano always being in control and being seemingly the lucky golden boy, near the ending we discover that being the heir of Deathcast isn't as glamorous as it seems to be. Not gonna say more about this, or I will spoil things, and I don't want to spoil anything, as you already know. So this one was good. I think Adam Silvera did a great service talking about mental health in here, and I also appreciate that this time around we got more than just a day. I hope it continues like that in the second book, because everything, the entire plot in just 24 hours is quite some heavy stuff to digest. At least with the other books it was. We got a chance to get to know the characters better, and that's always good. Okay, enough of that, another sip. Another book I will talk about, and it was Believe Me by Tahereh Mafi. And this was a buddy read with Cello. Cello, if you see this, you get a finger heart. We wanted to buddy read or continue with our buddy read of the series, and since this is book 6.5, I think, we decided that we wanted to pick this one up. It took us, I think, about 4 years to actually get to it, because we were reeling from our buddy read of the 6th book a couple of years ago. And we needed to digest book number 6. For me personally, book number 6 doesn't exist. I don't like it. I don't even want to have it on my shelves. It was like such a no book, which is the reason it took us quite some effort to get over that and actually read the next one in the series. And thankfully this one is about Warner and Juliet finally going for their wedding plans. And it was a little bit different than we anticipated at the beginning. I think we got a lot more of their current circumstances and the troubles and problems they face than we thought. Cello, I can't talk for you, but I thought it would be lovey-dovey stuff throughout all the, I think 117 pages or so. 170, I think it is. Anyway, but we didn't get the lovey-dovey stuff. We got a little bit of it, but we also got the problems they face after the 6th book. And after the happenings of the 6th book, we got some of Kenji and the others, which I always appreciate. I love to see favorite characters reappear in my books. We got a lot about Warner's struggles, because this book is from his point of view, which I really appreciate. I love Warner's point of view. I can't get enough of it. I just want more of him. And yeah, mental health was also a theme in here, because after the war and after the fight against the re-establishment, Juliet and Warner have quite trouble to get into real life and to work out where they want to go in the future and how their life should look like. So I personally loved the ending. It was great. The easy banter between Kenji and the others was amazing. Warner, that grumpy little child. I just love him. And I can't wait to get to watch me, and I'm pretty certain Cello will read it with me once again. I rated that one, of course, with 4 paws. You can see Cello and I read the entire book, and we marked so many tabs, because if you do a buddy read with me, you gotta expect that the book will look like this, and that there will be voice messages going from one side to the other, or at least a lot of WhatsApp messages talking about what happened in the last 2 or 3 chapters. So yeah, I will write a review about that one. I just finished it, so it might take a little while, but don't worry, my review won't be as long as all the tabs in here. I will try to keep it concise. Okay, enough of that. Next one, last one, I might add. And it was The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. I rated it with 3.5 paws. Lucy Foley was an author I already knew from the guest list. I really enjoyed the guest list. I gotta say, I enjoyed The Paris Apartment a little bit less. With the guest list, we had this locked room kind of thing on an island with a murderer among the wedding guests. With The Paris Apartment, we had an entire house with different neighbors, and they were all keeping their various individual secrets. And it basically starts with Ben, and something happens to Ben when his sister Jess wants to visit him in Paris. She had some trouble at home, let's put it that way, and up and left to visit her brother in Paris, and when she arrives there, he isn't there. So she gets into his empty apartment, wonders where he is, goes to sleep, and the next morning she discovers a huge white spot on the ground that looks like bleach was used. Her brother's cat has blood on its paws. Yeah, it's very suspicious. Everything is very sus in here. And Jessie wants to find out where her brother is and what happened before she got into that apartment. And there are a lot of people living there, and every single one of them could be a murderer. Yeah. I personally enjoyed all the intrigues. There were a lot of wow moments when I was like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. Yeah, they all, even up until to the penthouse, I think there was a second floor, a third floor, a fourth floor, and the penthouse. And each and every single one of them had secrets. And you find out about the secrets while you read the book. And it was very entertaining. The writing style was easy to read, but it didn't grasp me as much as the guest list. I don't know, maybe because it was just in the apartment, the characters all weren't all that likable. I mean, I liked Jess. I generally like morally grey characters. They all were morally grey, but yeah, I don't know. It wasn't that. I think there's a first floor as well. Yeah. Yeah. It's all connected somehow, and it was interesting to read the book to find out all the secrets that were kept and that got revealed, of course, near the ending. But it didn't hold my attention as much as the guest list. So 3.5 paws it was. But if you like mysteries and want to find out what happened to Ben, then this is an easy read in between. You can read it pretty fast and it's a nice read, so yeah. Just be aware all of the people in that house are manipulative AF. Yeah, that's all the warning you get from me. Okay, so those were the 4 books I read in January. I think I did pretty well. I mean, at least I managed to read 4 books, which is more than I managed to read those last 2 months in 2025. So there's that. I enjoyed them all in their own way, and that's also a plus. And yeah, I guess that's it. And I would love to hear if you read those books as well, if you liked them, if you didn't, and if you didn't like them, what you didn't like about them. Which kind of books did you read in January? Did you have a 5-star read among them? I would really like to hear that one. And yeah, so I guess that's it. We're already at the ending of my video and there's nothing left to say except of take care, stay healthy and safe, and see you around the next time. Bye!